Happy Paradox Rift Day, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in. We finally get to play these cards on TCG Live. I must say, I've already played the games that you're about to see. Props where props are due. No issues, no flaws with the cards that I've played so far. All right. So far, so good. Wish the user experience was a little bit better, but so far I got to play with the cards and do with the cards what they intended to do, right? Roaring Maniacs, very powerful attacker, can 1-KO everything with its first attack, can do up to 220 with its second attack. Both very powerful. We also have Brute Bonnet, being able to poison an opponent's active as long as it has the Ancient Booster tool card attached. It's also 120. I feel like it's a pretty good single price attacker. Did not get to use it during the video, but I feel like it's a very good option to have. And then the Morpeko. Yeah, the Morpeko, a card that I definitely underestimated. Maybe even a second copy is worth it, just because it has that free retreat, which is so important for the dark patches. It's not important for Professor Sada's Vitality. You can, Professor Sada, you can attach those energies anywhere. I discovered that mid-video. I could have sworn it was only on the bench, but still pretty crucial card to have. Squawk, Radiant Greninja, and Lumineon, great support Pokemon, and then we have the rest of the deck. Changes that perhaps I would consider, some form of hand disruption. I definitely missed having Iono or Roxanne perhaps at different points in the game. The 4 tools are fantastic. I wish I could play more. Earthen Vessel, such a good card. PokéStop, such a good card. Yeah, and the only thing I wish I could do is not have to discard dark patches sometimes with Squawkabilly, right? But the deck ran pretty smoothly. I'm not going to entertain you with a huge, long explanation of the deck. Do a lot of damage really quickly. Try to go second because your chance of going first are pretty high. And let's jump into the games. If you want to support the channel, you can use code tablemon to get 5% off at Potent Store for your online codes, 10% off for your sealed product at Flipside Gaming, and 10% off on your aluminum accessories at TC Evolutions. Or if you're looking to buy singles or sleeves, you can fill up your cart and close the tab. Then click on the affiliate link in the description and check out. That way you can support the channel over at TCG Player, Card Market, and Dragon Shield. ¿Eres de México y necesitas cartas de Pokémon? Busca Hyperbeam Cards en Facebook e Instagram. Y si estás en Tijuana, búscalos en el local C27 en el Centro Comercial Otay. Alright, so let's get this first game started where we both mulliganed, but what a start for me. Now, as I mentioned, I do believe that going second is correct with this deck. So I think that's an important aspect of what will make this deck incredibly strong. We're up against a Mewtwo Union, so as per usual, we're here to see the deck functioning properly more than an actual competitive 100% matchup at this point in time. Yeah, my opponent did win the coin flip and did choose to go second, so props to them. However, we are off to quite the start here. Honestly, not bad. All right, so I'm actually just gonna squawk here and establish the Brute Bonnet. I don't know exactly what I'm up against. We'll have to see. All right. Okay, so then Earthen Vessel to discard this and just grab 2 more energies. And then I can go Ultra Ball. So I'm starting to see why Morpeko is so important. I definitely am. All right, I think the card I'm gonna give up on is the PokéStop. PokéStop is of course fantastic, but I really want to switch into a Roaring Moon that that has 2 energies, right? So I'm gonna go Dark Patch onto 1. Whoops, Dark Patch onto 1, and then go ahead and attach, and then go ahead and switch card. And now imagine, right? Imagine if this was turn 1, right? Going second. Probably would have not benched that, and I would have held onto that. I can see why the Morpeko is super important though. And then hopefully I would have found Professor Sada, and I would have been able to do something right here. But it's all right. Yeah, not a bad start, I want to say. I feel like I should thin a little bit more, just get more energies in the discard pile, draw more energies. I do have PokéStop as well, which there's very few. You know what? I am going to play the PokéStop. I am going to do it. So, all right. Let's go ahead and PokéStop. 2 cards, lose a PokéStop, that's fine. I can also establish yet another energy. So, super hyper turbo deck right here. Why is this shining? Because I can retreat. All right. Okay. Not a bad start, right? Now I have extra draw through Radiant Greninja, have the Pokégear to dig for one of my 4 Professor Sadas or Boss's Orders, and I know I'm up against a Mewtwo V Union with apparently a Shadow engine. So the unfortunate thing is that I won't be able to KO that Mewtwo V Union until my opponent decides to bring it into play. That is a Bombardier EX, which is interesting to say the least. Then we see the PokéStop, Tracking Shoes, and Great Ball, Discard, and Psychic. So not bad cards, that's for sure. Not sure Shadow makes Mewtwo V Union viable. I wish I was playing against Iron Valiant instead, but it is what it is. All right. Senior's Resolve will get a solid 6 cards. That's 2 Mewtwo V Union pieces now discarded. There's the Bombardier. Okay, so into the single prizer, they're just gonna use Fast Carrier, I imagine, right? Yeah, establish a couple more Natus, which makes sense. You can use that attack. Yeah, if you go first. All right, so not bad for them. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and conceal cards. This should pretty much, yep, guarantee the Professor Sada. There you go. So let's go ahead and attach there and attach there. And we draw 3 cards as well. I really don't mind getting the 2 prizes here. I will discard a stadium whilst doing so, and that's completely okay. I can also attach this here to start poisoning. And we're just gonna go ahead and retreat and take the KO right here. Calamity Storm. Discard the stadium, do 220 damage, take the KO. And generally I feel like I could have easily done that on turn 1. So big cards that I'm missing here are definitely the Morpeko. And I just thought of another one, Countercatcher. Yeah, Morpeko and Countercatcher. Definitely important cards to consider. But what happens now is I cannot KO Mewtwo with my first attack. So the last PokéStop is now the most important card in my whole deck. Assuming it's in there, which it is, right? There's the PokéStop. So the PokéStop is the most important card in my whole deck, as Mewtwo Union's ability does stop effects of attacks, which does mean I cannot get a KO, right, through my first attack. I honestly kind of feel like just attacking is the way to go. I guess let's Professor Sada just get more energy into play, because why not? There we go, another energy, a switch card, all good stuff. I'm just gonna go ahead and Calamity Storm for 100. So yes, Mewtwo Union could possibly be a problem if I don't have my stadium, because I cannot use my first attack to knock it out, and I'd really rather not play that last stadium to KO something like a Snorlax, unless like next turn I can probably go boss KO and then boss KO again or something. I can definitely play around the Mewtwo Union, not that big a deal. I do have to thin though as properly as I can. So interesting use of Snorlax plus Mewtwo Union. Like I said, I really wish, yeah, there we go. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward, no Shadows in play. Let's jump into the next one. All All right, so for this second game, I did take out one Ultra Ball for the Morpeko. Have not added the counter catchers yet. All right, and I'll leave the latest list, even though it'll be a card or two different from what I talked about in the beginning of the video. I will put it here. Actually, no, the list you'll see at the beginning of the video will be the correct one. Yeah, I'll just redo that part. All right, so my opponent off to a decent start, right? No Frigibacks, however. All right, so now the big question is, can I get a big KO here? My Morpeko, unfortunately, ends up being priced. So maybe I just Squawk. No, because then I don't get to use the Dark Patch. But I might not get to use the Dark Patch anyways. All right. I'm just gonna grab the Squawk. I think that's worth it. All right. So let's start with concealed cards. See if we can find a way to get a dark Pokemon. There we go. Very nice. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. All right. Do I want double Roaring Moon? Yes. Actually, no. I think I just want one Roaring Moon. And then, oh, I should have grabbed the Brute Bonnet. So I will bench the Brute Bonnet. And then I'm leaving space for the thing. I'm leaving space for our good friend, Professor Sada. All right. So do I want to use the Pokégears? I don't think I do. I'm wondering whether I should attach or not. I feel like I shouldn't. That way I have 2 energies for Professor Sada. But I feel like 1 is probably enough to win me this game. Or get me so far ahead that it'll be enough. All right. No Professor Sada. Dang it. No Ultra Ball, no Lumineon, no nothing. What? No switching card either. So that sucks. Very, very unfortunate here. All right. Well, it is what it is. Do I want to keep the Lumineon available for next turn? Yes, I do. Drawing this Brute Bonnet is my my punishment. Yeah, I should have Battle VIP Pass for that Brute Bonnet and then just discarded the one I had in my hand. So immediate punish right there. Now we are not threatened, right? That's for sure. So I'm just gonna keep this hand as it is for now. The problem being, we only have Radiant Greninja to draw cards now. We could see a PokéStop, that's for sure. We could definitely see a PokéStop right here. Seems like it's not Frigiback space though, unless it's Baxcalibur and Palkia VSTAR and Chien-Pao. So we'll have to see, right? But so far, so good. We're definitely not threatened at all. Yeah. All right. Yeah, my opponent's deck is a little on the slower end. Even if it was Baxcalibur, they're already a turn behind. I have easy-ish knockouts, right? But this Greninja has got to be the best Greninja in the history of Greninja, so that's gonna be rough, perhaps. All right. We see a cross switcher. All right, on to, huh? Oh, okay. That's fair. So my opponent wanted to make sure they got a hit into the Roaring Moon. That way, if I use my first attack, we trade 2 for 2. Now, they did only discard 1 energy. So now with the Ancient Booster energy capsule, I will survive. And I just got the stadium, so I don't even need to use my first attack. So looking good. Yeah, I think I'm going to PokéStop first because... So PokéStop first before Greninja. Why? Because right now, there's more item cards than supporters in my deck. So if I PokéStop, I'm more likely to hit non-supporters than supporters, therefore increasing my chance of hitting a supporter of the Greninja. So even if I discard supporters, which seems like, okay, I did not, I still believe that's the way to go about it. But don't fully quote me on that. Okay. So now, we don't have a good follow-up. I will be able to take 2 prizes here. I think I'm just gonna auto KO myself, or auto damage myself rather, instead of discarding the stadium, because I feel like the stadium is very important for me right now at this point in time. So I'm gonna use the first attack to get the KO, even though I could do it with the second attack. 230 HP is not super difficult for the Palkia deck, so I'd rather have the resource of the PokéStop, especially because my hand right now is really not good, right? Still missing the Professor Sada. I'm running a little low on the energies. I did lose 2 Pokégears. I'm not finding Ultra Ball for Lumineon either, so we'll see. Yeah, we'll have to see. My opponent did promote Greninja, so they will be able to use that to knock me out through the VSTAR attack. We'll leave them hanging a little bit, right? But we'll see. So in an ideal world, I could find another Dark Patch. Like the dream here would be to find a Dark Patch before I use Radiant Greninja. That way I don't have to do that. Because they did attach energy, right? And then they have energy on the Palkia. If I can go boss KO that Palkia, they're gonna have a very rough time. We'll see. We shall see. Really sucks that it's been 2 turns where I whiffed. All right. Roaring Moon does mean if I do the KO, I will be KO'd back myself. So things are not looking great now, actually. Okay, so I have this Switch Cart. All right, I'm gonna go PokéStop. What? Okay, things are really not looking good now. Okay, there's an Ultra Ball. That means I can't get an attack off. But it's gonna be so costly though, right? Okay. All right, so let me think this through. I definitely need to Ultra Ball away you and probably you for the Lumineon, right? Just look at the cards left in my deck. All 4 Professor Sada, 2 Dark Patches. All right, so I am going to get the Professor Sada off of this. I imagine, like, I'm gonna do Escape Rope and my opponent's gonna promote the Bidoof, most likely. All right, this does allow me to draw another 3 cards, which is nice. Okay, I have more energies. All right. Now I can go Escape Rope and then heal my Roaring Moon whilst probably knocking out the Bidoof. Yep. All right. Okay. So then we're going to go Dark Patch. We're going to go ahead and attach. And then we're going to go ahead and Switch Cart. Therefore, healing 30 damage. Then I can attach this. And then I will take the KO. All right. So my opponent's only realistic play is to attack me with the Palkia, right? They go boss KO. That would be a problem for sure. They did already use up 2 cross switchers. They do have a pretty big hand though. So there's the attachment. There's the counter stadium, which is certainly annoying. And there's an Iono, which is not great. You know, I do hit the Professor Sada, however. The issue is I don't have a good way to switch now. So I need Dark Patch plus an energy off of this Professor Sada to be able to return KO this Palkia this turn. All right, so that's a good card to get. 2 Dark Patches. I also have Switch Cart. I have Earthen Vessel. So the difficult card is definitely the Dark Patch. So Being able to have 2 targets though for this Professor Sada is pretty nice. Like for the longevity. All right, there's the Dark Patch, fantastic. However, no energy. Is a little on the unfortunate side, so hopefully I don't discard energy and I get an Earthen Vessel. All right, I lost the boss. I did get Earthen Vessel. All right, not bad. Not bad at all. I can actually take a KO with this. Roaring Moon. Is that worth it? I think it is, right? Or maybe, yeah, because if I attack with this one and it gets lost vacuumed, then that would be a problem, right? So I think this is a way to go. Not bad. And I can even give it extra HP as well, just in case. I thin the deck as well. I get the KO, right? Nothing stopping it. I do 200 self-damage. That's perfectly fine. Our right hand doesn't win my opponent the game, and I'm 1 energy away. There's the silly Morpeko. Yeah, maybe you need 2 Morpekos. Having a free retreater, I can see how that's like super important. Dark Patch, Sada, all of that works on the bench, so having a free retreater, super important. All right, so I do get IO node, which means no Melanie, which means my opponent can't attack me this turn, which means I just use my first attack and I win the game. Right? Yeah, there we go. All right. On to the next match. All right, so not such a good start this time around. 2 Dark Patches. My opponent did let me go first. Okay, that's actually a really good card to get. As long as my Greninja... Oh my gosh, my Greninja is now the one that's prized. Why? Oh my, I'm just gonna lose 2 Dark Patches for no reason. That's really unfortunate. So we are up against Giratina. Dang it, why did I prize my Greninja? Alright, well, I could attach Retreat and then Dark Patch, which obviously makes no sense. Right, because I'd lose the energy anyways. So goodbye Dark Patches. We will miss you dearly. All right. I do have a Professor Sada, which is fantastic for next turn. I'm failing the PokéStop. I guess I'll save 1 Roaring Moon before I PokéStop. I do have 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I like this. I like this PokéStop. Path to Peak is not as impactful, I want to say. Ouch. All right. That was a bad 3 cards to lose right there. All right. I guess the self-damage does makes you very vulnerable to Sableye. Roxanne in the discard pile, potentially good news. We are going to see the Giratina get played, and we're going to see a Colress. Looking for the Scum Face, looking to establish. I'm glad we get to play against a powerful meta deck. Manaphy and Battle VIP Pass. Manaphy definitely, there isn't a good dark type attack that you can do to the bench, I don't think. So it makes sense why you would get rid of the Manaphy. There's another Battle VIP Pass. Oh, my opponent already seen 3 Battle VIP Passes. Not a bad start. Not a bad start. All right. Dang, that PokéStop was rough though. All right, so my opponent gonna go into the Comfey, not gonna use Giratina. That will be the 4th card in the loss zone, which does mean Cramorant will be able to take a knockout on the Morpeko, making my attack that much harder. And a path to a peak too. All right. So my opponent pulling all the stops here. 4 cards in the loss zone. we are definitely in trouble. Do I have 2 energies? I do. All right. So why do you make me choose if there's only 2 targets, both for Pokemon and for energy? All right. So I took an escape rope. So I'm going to do that before anything. I need that to be able to attack. I'm guessing a Comfey gets promoted. I think my best hope right now is that my opponent just doesn't have a Colress, right? I think like that's pretty much it. All right, I get to thin the deck. I'm not gonna discard the Path to a Peak because that stops their Greninja, right? So I'm gonna keep the Stadium in play and just take the KO. Oh, I just realized, like, it's crazy that I wouldn't have been able to knock out Cramorant if the Stadium was still in play. However, now I got my Greninja from the discard pile. This all comes down to, from the price, sorry. This all comes down to Greninja being priced. If Greninja had not been priced, I would have 1 extra energy in play, right? I think this is a perfect example, though, of how going second is probably what you want to do. That Nest Ball and that Flower Select before Colress is actually very nice. Like I said, it does give me a little bit of hope that perhaps there isn't a Colress into Mirage Gate into KO. So if I'm able to get 2 prizes and then go KO Giratina, that's good enough. It's not looking super likely based on my current draw. Oh, but they found the Colress of all that. Okay, so now they're at 8. Now they need a switching card plus 2 Mirage Gates in order to knock out my Roaring Moon EX and the Giratina VSTAR. So not easy, not super difficult either. There's 1, however. So that's gonna be a problem. What? Just 1 energy? Oh my gosh. And there's only 6 in place out of the like 13 or 14 the deck tends to play. My opponent must have a lot of energy in their hand. Like a lot. Okay, this is actually pretty big. I'll still need a 3rd Roaring Moon, but I feel like now I have a much better chance of winning this game. Top decking boss would be the dream, but I did lose 2 boss orders. That's a really good top deck still, though. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and I want to PokéStop first before concealed cards. Oh, come on. All right, well, I mean, that's not terrible. Do I want to put the 2 bosses orders back? I don't hate that. Because if I hit a boss off of this, that's huge, right? I guess I don't need to Professor Sada. I could just attach here. Yeah, okay, so this is the plan. I'm going to put back 2 bosses orders. Okay. And then we're going to go concealed cards. All right. Okay, so I do have 1 more Professor Sada. I guess I might as well. Gosh, I have to discard the Stadium, though, if I want to get a KO this turn. All right. It is what it is. Oh, you can attach to them anywhere? I thought it was only on the bench. Oh, my gosh. I genuinely thought it was only on the bench. All right. Does this extra HP matter? I don't think so. I'm just going to attach here. So the problem is I don't have another Roaring Moon, right? That is definitely the problem. So, I mean, I guess I will. Yeah, I should then. I really should then. I need a Roaring Moon. Did I discard any? I know I have a Lumineon in the prize cards as well. So I have a Lumineon and a Roaring Moon in the prize cards. Okay, I have not attached energy yet. So I'll just attach here for sure. And then unfortunately, I will discard my Stadium because otherwise I am not actually taking a KO on the Cramorant. That's pretty sad. But that's okay, right? I am at 4 prizes now. So all I need to do, and that's a perfect card. If my hand doesn't get attacked this turn, then all I need to do is go Moon KO the Giratina, that KOs my Roaring Moon, Moon KO the Giratina, that KOs my Roaring Moon. So not bad, yeah, not bad. Especially after such a shaky start. This deck is legit. Yeah, this deck I am very impressed by it. Very impressed by it. All right. My opponent did also Lost Zone a Psychic. So this and the Mirage Gate without for only 1 energy shows that they've been very careless and they have not thoroughly checked their deck to make sure that they have the right resources, right, available to be able to win this game. I think that's the pretty easy tell you can have in terms of what they did or didn't do, right? Now there are 3 bosses orders available to me. I have 1 in hand. So this turn, what's very likely to happen is they'll just try to go Sableye, KO the Roaring Moon. And then what I will do is, oh, I can't. There's no stadium. That's actually awful. If I get a KO on this Sableye, that's really not great. All right. I mean, the boss KO is very enticing, and then they go boss KO, and then they KO my Roaring Moon again. And then I can't go boss KO the Giratina, right? That is a problem. Ooh, this is actually a big deal. I mean, wait, did they play a Super Run? Oh, they did, okay. Oh, that stadium doesn't matter, actually. Okay. If I put that there, that was a misstep for sure. All right, so the way I could possibly win is by powering up the Roaring Moon through Dark Patches and going boss KO. Unfortunately for me, there's a path to a peak right there. Oh, that's really bad. Dang it, and there's 2 Pokéstops right there. But I can't draw cards this turn. I could take 2 prizes. And then I'm very likely getting Roxanne. If they had not evolved both, I would have been fine. Okay. So I guess I go boss KO. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 Psychics and 2 Super Rods gone. No, I don't see me being able to pull this off, honestly. I don't think I win this. So maybe my best path is KO the Sableye, and then they KO me with the VSTAR, and then maybe they won't have enough to power up this other Giratina. 4 energies, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, they certainly have enough energies, right? But I don't see any other way. I really don't see any other way. Oh, okay. Okay, you know what? With the... All right. I guess there is a way. So with the thing, right? I do survive an attack from the Giratina VSTAR. Oh, I did get the Dark Patch. Which is definitely odd. All right, it is what it is. I survive the damage from the first attack. Maybe they forget. I'll discard the stadium so I have access to Greninja, right? just take the KO. But I think I'm losing this one. I do think I'm losing this one. So they do need to VSTAR KO, right? I feel like we're gonna see this happen more often than not. We're gonna see a Giratina do 280, forget about the tool, and then that'll be game. I mean, and even if they forget about the tool, it's still not game over. They can still use Sableye, but we'll see. So we do see a Nest Ball, probably for Sableye? No, all right. So I'm wondering about the energies. That's a one like ray of hope that I have. I'm sure they have a lot of energies in their hand though. They must have a lot of energies in their hand. Maybe an Iono to 1. I'm not playing Iono in this deck. Maybe an Iono to 1 would be the answer as well. So they go VSTAR KO. And then even a Cramorant, right? Did they put back the Cramorant? No, they did not. All right, so I do get Roxanne, so I'm glad I attached to the Roaring Moon. Get a boss and a Pokéstop. Neither of which is super useful. I'm glad it didn't split 2 and 2 energies, because then I would have been in a lot of trouble. And there you go, Star Requiem, no attachment. All right, so it comes down to their last Sableye, basically. Well, they could even KO me with a Comfey at this point in time. They could Mirage Gate onto Comfey and beat me that way. They generally could. Oh, never mind, not anymore. That's a huge top deck. All right, I'm just gonna Frenzied Gouging, hope for the best. I do have the boss. Like, what they could do is try to force a sudden death situation, where if they promote the Giratina and I cannot bypass that, right, then I am in trouble. They did immediately promote though, which is surprising, and they have the Mirage Gate in hand. And do they have the 2 energies? You would imagine they do, right? You would. Water, they must have the Psychic in hand. Jet. And I don't know. What? What is happening? I get the boss. Let's go. Yeah, so the energies were the key, right? Running my opponent out of attackers was the key. Wow, what a game. I definitely could have easily lost this one. Losing the 2 Dark Patches resources at the beginning was a pretty big deal. But honestly, I'm very impressed by Roaring Moon. And like you getting a decent turn going second, I can see how this deck is extremely, extremely powerful. It is also very frail, right? But extremely, extremely powerful. So yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. I'll catch you in the next Paradox Rift video.